Hi everyone, my name is Claire and today I'll be walking you guys through the tinkerCAD experiment. So what does the CAD stand for in tinkerCAD? It stands for Computer Aided Design, and its purpose is to visualize plans and prototypes in 2D or 3D models. It can also take other things and make accurate representations of them so that you can use them. Additionally, they can modify and edit their plans easily to improve the quality of the design. So CAD is used by a lot of people, some of them being engineers, architects, construction managers, and more. So what is tinkerCAD specifically? tinkerCAD is a platform where users can design 3D models, design electronics and circuits, and also code. But today we'll be focusing on designing 3D models. So first and really important concept with tinkerCAD are X, Y, and Z coordinates. So as you can see in the first block, the Z coordinate is 0, while the second one has a shadow, so you know that it's above the plane. This is really important if you want to stack different figures on top of each other, and also because tinkerCAD utilizes a work plane, which also has an up dimension. So one more thing before we get started, and that's just to have fun creating. tinkerCAD allows you to do a ton of different things, and you'll just have the best experience if you are creative and have a lot of fun doing it. So first, in order to start, you want to go to www.tinkercad.com, and you can scroll down to the Get Started or the Start Tinkering button, whichever one you see. When you go to that button, you want to choose Create a Personal Account, and then sign in with Google is one option, or you can also sign up with your email and a different password. So when you go into your tinkerCAD account, you'll see a dashboard. And so what you want to do is you can go to just create a new design, and it should automatically be on the 3D design setting. If it's on the circuits or code block setting, just make sure to change it back to 3D designs. As you can see, this is what your workspace might look like. And there's a few important parts of this workspace. So first is the column on the right. That's your resource column or wherever you get your materials. So as you can see here, I have basic shapes where I can drag different things out. And there's also text and numbers in case I want to write something. And you can change the text that it displays here. Additionally, another really important feature of this is the view adjuster. So as you can see, this right now shows the top and front. And basically, if I dragged a box out, this is what you would see, right? You see the top and then you see the front of the box. However, if I want to see the side, I can drag this box around and you can see all the different angles of the box, including you can even look from below. And this is obviously the most noticeable part, but this is your work plane where everything will reside. So more tools. In case you want to have more complex figures, such as this dome, you could use different figures. So right here we have a sphere. And if you put this in here right now, you would notice that it's in the same level. So what you want to do is we want to adjust the x coordinate, the z coordinate. So the way you do this is by dragging the cone up and down, and you can see also the measurements. I don't know how tall this is, but the only way I'd be able to know is if I drag the viewpoint a bit differently. So I can adjust it down a bit. And move it into the center. So now if you look from the top view, it's halfway inside the box. So now when you do this, you can select both by dragging your mouse and holding it, and that will create a selection. And right now, as you can see, both the dome and the cube are selected. So in order to group these, you can either do Control G or use the group button. And as you can see now, they're one. So when you move the whole thing, everything moves with it. And if you want to ever ungroup them, you can also use Control Shift G or the ungroup button. So in case you don't want to add the sphere, you want to subtract it, right? Let's say we wanted a sphere-shaped hole inside this cube. Then I can make the sphere a hole and then group these again. And now, as you can see, there's a spherical hole inside my figure. So another really important aspect of this is resizing. So as you might notice, if I just try to resize it like this, it will really mess up the proportions, right? The cube is more of a rectangle and the sphere isn't really a sphere. But if I want to keep the dimensions the same, but make the figure larger or smaller, you can hold down the Shift key and just resize it. And it'll make sure that your figure doesn't change the dimensions and that the ratios of all the sides and all the lengths stay the same. So another fun tool that you guys can experiment with is the scribble tool. So here you can drag a scribble on there and you might notice that the space changes. So you'll see that you won't be able to see your figure, but this box is actually to show you what it might look like. So if I wanted a squiggle, it would show me what that looked like in the preview. And let's say I wanted to erase parts of the squiggle. The preview will also adjust to show the holes in the squiggle. And once you're done with this, you can just press done. And another technique that you can use is this button. So this button allows you to make filled shapes. And let's say I wanted to draw a flower or something similar to a flower. This would allow me to do that. And as you can see in the preview, that's what it might look like. You can do the same thing with subtraction. And in case you don't want to erase every single thing, you can just highlight over the entire thing and then it'll delete everything. And so I'll just make a random shape to show you guys. But when you put that in the workspace, you'll see that it goes back to the original view. So some examples are is like this house I made. So as you can see, I used this triangular pyramid, this half of a circle, of a cylinder, this full cylinder, a cube, and a smoke that I drew using this scribble tool. And after putting these together and changing the coordinates of each one, I grouped them, and as you can see, I made a house. So there's so many things that you can do with tinkerCAD, and it's not just you can reshape things, but you can also put things in each other and have them become one figure altogether. And that's what's really cool about tinkerCAD. So now what we're going to be doing is recreating a pattern found in nature. So the things you'll need are just your tinkerCAD website and also a bit of creativity. So before we start using tinkerCAD, what patterns do all of you see in nature? You can pause this video to think about that a bit and also discuss. So these are some of the patterns that we came up with. So one of them would be these leaves, which you might find on a tree, the hexagons that make up a honeycomb or a slice of kiwi, which if I were to just go off the top of my head, it might look like this would be a cylinder and the green inside would be another cylinder. This would be another cylinder and the seeds would also be cylinders. And for the lighter green parts, I could use one of these. And these are just kind of special shapes, but basically if I angle it properly using the rotation tools or anything else, I'd be able to make sort of that type of shape. So as you can see, I didn't use all of them obviously, but there's a lot of different things that you can make using this. And even if you wanted to make a character, right? And if you wanted a hand, you can drag out a hand. So yeah, once you have finished those designs, you can feel free to share them with us in the chat as well. And thank you so much, and we hope you enjoyed today's experiment.